Okay, this really is no joke. I've been searching for 30 minutes trying to find Lily of the Valley. And it just does not exist anywhere. All I want is some white dye. All I want is some white dye. Wait, is this it? No, that's white tulip. White tulip is grey dye, right? Yeah. That's the one that tricks you. It's not the one we want. It's the chickens. It's the chickens who have the white dye. The Lily of the Valley. Oh, I'm losing my mind out here. The game's trolling me at this point. Look at all the cornflowers. This is not... Oh, you just have to laugh. Hello everyone and welcome back to Monifactory. So last time we crafted our first few MV machines in the form of the alloy smelter, the chemical reactor, and also the atomic reconstructor at medium voltage. And this allowed us to fix the setup here for pulsating prediction matrix, which we'll be making use of in this episode. We also now have some phytogenic insulators making us various flowers, which we'll use for dye to build the base. But we're also farming rubber wood here, and I added spruce wood between episodes. Additionally, we unlocked some new materials in the blast furnace, vibrant alloy and energetic alloy. And I also added one more material between episodes, the monocrystalline silicon bull. This is just made from gallium arsenide dust and silicon dust. But the recipe does take 450 seconds, so it does take a very long time. We're just going to let the blast furnace run, as always. And we'll come back to the silicon bull once we start messing around with circuits again. But besides all the extra crafting, we also managed to unlock applied energistics last time and get all of our storage digitized. And you know, to be honest, it doesn't look like we have a whole lot. It kind of feels like we're running out of resources. But I guess there is some stuff in the output of the machines. I've still been batch crafting between episodes on various components. Just basic stuff like alloys, screws, rods, plates, all that sort of stuff. So what is the plan for this episode? Well, there's several objectives I want to achieve today. And you know, we've kind of just been hanging out here in the early game. I've been having a lot of fun actually between episodes. I've been playing for quite a few hours, just going mining, having fun with the hammer. Collecting resources just for some things we were missing, like redstone, coal, iron, gold, diamond, Lily of the Valley. All that sort of stuff, silver. Yeah, just trying to make sure we had materials and of course keep on batch crafting in the machines. I've been working on trying to get some more LV circuits and also a way to make them a bit cheaper. Again, I'll talk about the circuits and ways to make them cheaper and how gregtech circuits work in general at a later stage. Probably in the next episode we'll have a look at circuits, but yeah, I've been trying to get some more LV circuits and just having a good time in the world, enjoying myself. However, at this point, we need to quit messing around and playing and start thinking about how we're going to transition to the next phase in this pack. And by that, I mean transitioning away from the lawn base that we have here. So I get a lot of questions often, actually, people asking me like, Three, how do you build your bases? So I'll run you through my thought process and what works for me. Like, how do you go from a lawn base, essentially, to something fit for the late game? And well, the way I'm going to start is with a big flat platform. And from the map here, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot going on, and that's because there isn't, it's just a big platform at the moment. But I did follow a principle I've talked about a lot on this channel and used a lot in different worlds, which is the principle of chunk alignment. I also set up a passive process here for smooth stone, which is what we're using for the base material. So we just have a cobblestone generator under here. We're pulling our supply of sugarcane into the furnace as fuel. And then the cobblestone from the igneous extruder is round robin between the drawer and the furnace, cooks into stone, build into the next furnace, and buffers us smooth stone here. So chunk alignment, what is it and why do I use it? Well, at least in older versions of the game, whenever you had a multi-block cross a Minecraft chunk, that tended not to play very nice with the game and you could end up with recipes voiding or yeah, you can run into some issues. Like I said though, that is really only applicable to older versions of the game. In newer versions of Minecraft and the version that we're in, you don't really have to worry about that, to be honest. It's not such a big issue. I still use the principle of chunk alignment though, since it helps keep things nice and organized as we expand. So to get started, hit F3 plus G to bring up your Minecraft chunk boundaries, and then go to any inside corner, and this will be our starting point. And then what we're going to do is use the rule of sevens. So 7 blocks out from the corner gives us the center of our chunk. And then 7 more blocks after that gives us the next corner. Now you'll notice on this one here, it's outside of the Minecraft chunk boundary. Right, so this is our starting chunk here, the first corner. This one is outside of the chunk. And that is because a Minecraft chunk is 16 by 16. That's just the way the game is coded. But we want our chunk alignment to be an odd number so that we have a center point, so that we don't have a 2-block center, we have a 1-block center. That way it's just easier for the multi-blocks later on and to, well, nobody uses even numbers, right? You have to go odd to give us that center point. So that's why we're doing 7 plus 1 plus 7 to give us an internal area of 15 by 15. And if you count the 2 corners, that's 17 by 17. So continuing on from that second corner, 7 more blocks brings you to the next center. And then another 7 brings you to your 3rd corner point. 7 more perpendicular to that brings you to your 3rd center point. Another 7 blocks brings you to the last corner. You should now be squared off at this point. 7 more blocks to the final center point, and 7 more brings you to where you started at the first corner. So now, as long as you follow this principle going forward, like for example, the next chunk would be over here. So this is the corner, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This will be the 8th block, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have another corner point here, and we can just keep doing this infinitely. And you'll always line up with 2 sides on the inside of your Minecraft chunk and 2 sides on the outside. So like for example, our starting corner here is, yeah, facing east and facing south are on the inside relative to the chunk we started in. And that means north and west are going to be on the outside. So yeah, you can see they're on the outside of the Minecraft chunk. So for us moving forward, all chunks facing east and south are going to be on inside. The borders are going to be on an inside. And all chunks west and north will be on the outside edge. And so long as we follow this principle, everything should line up with the Minecraft chunks. And we can build within this 15 by 15 square. So I hope that makes sense to those of you guys who are curious about chunk alignment. But we don't just want a big flat platform up there, right? We want to have walls and we want verticality as well. We want some variation. So to help with all the vertical building, we're going to make the angel ring, and we're going to have to jump through some hoops at this point in the game. We have to get into advanced crafting, but this will give us creative flight. So I talked about the recipe tree last episode, and I went ahead and taught EMI all the recipes here for the angel ring. To be honest, it does look like quite a lot, but we have all the materials, and I made sure that we have all the processes to make those materials. One of the things we're missing though is black steel. So I believe from the pyrolyze oven, we're getting coke, right? Yes, we are. We're going to send this through the atomic reconstructor here, which should give us perfected coal. I also made up some restonia, which is just redstone through this machine. One of the materials I went mining for earlier on was silver, but I used it all for silver rods and silver wire, which we use for MV circuits, so we're currently out of silver. Unless we have some in the output of the furnace. I forgot about this, I didn't check this. Do we have silver in here? Wait, that's antimony. Silver? Silver anywhere? Please tell me we have silver. Perfect. Yeah, I need to empty those furnaces there, but since I'm lazy, we're going to use our mortar. We have them crafted already, and it means we don't have to wait on the macerator, so copper as well. Oh, and also we have to send coal through the atomic reconstructor. This should give us void crystals, and there's a fire. I think that's the drawers again because we have lava under here. I'm just going to continue to ignore that. I might turn fire tick off, but I don't like changing game rules without or after starting a world, but we'll see. I might still turn off fire tick because I do have plans to use wood in this build, and I don't want the whole thing burning down. So we did just run into an issue here of minimum tiers. The recipe I was trying to run for black steel is minimum tier HV. This won't be the last time this happens in this series, trust me. And we only have an LV mixer. So we have to go through this recipe here, which is black bronze. And it pretty much just breaks down the components into the raw materials for this one, so it's faster and easier to make. But I guess we have to go through black bronze, which is copper electrum, and electrum is silver gold. And now I guess we just start crafting some jetpacks. We need 2 electrical steel jetpacks, which are made from the conductive iron. And for this we need capacitors. I think we need capacitors for most of this stuff. So I'm just gonna make like 16 or maybe even 32. Yeah, let's go for 32. We have a lot of vacuum tubes, which is the ULV circuit. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of crafting, but fortunately we have applied energistics, which does make things a lot easier. Okay, we're going to need some leather straps. Let's do 4. We're out of leather. I think there's an atomic reconstructor recipe from rotten flesh, and rotten flesh we can buy if we had some money pennies. There we go, rotten flesh we can buy. Our mixer is done making us some black steel, which we are going to have to send through our blast furnace, and like all the other dusts at this point, there is a more efficient recipe with nitrogen, using circuit 2, but we don't have a supply of nitrogen just yet, so we'll use the circuit 1 recipe. And the recipe is 77 seconds here. We only need about 16 of these ingots, so we don't have to wait that long, and we get a lot of black steel. Wow, we get a lot of black steel. Might as well cook it all, right? I think we're just short conductive iron, which I was making in the alloy smelter. Always batch craft, and we just need to turn this into plates. So I guess we'll do like a full stack. We'll pick up our electrum here as well. Yeah, we have some stuff in here. I need to empty these out. Okay, we're waiting on some machines making us plates, but I did notice that we're going to need a mixer MV, so we can go ahead and craft one of those. And we'll need this for another blast furnace alloy called rose gold, so we can do copper plus gold, circuit number 3. And rose gold is what's on the outside of our angel ring craft, along with the jetpacks. Rose gold, I think, is only 50 seconds. I'm going to skip the queue here. And speaking of the jetpacks, I believe we have enough for 4 conductive iron jetpacks. I'm not going to pick these up because I think we have a flux capacitor on us. I don't want it charged. Actually, let's just drop that so that we can maybe claim a quest. Yes, it is a quest. Okay, we want 4 of those. And 2 of them we want to upgrade into electrical steel. 1 and 2. And then the other one is energetic alloy, so we just need this recipe here. So a bit more thrusters to craft. Oh, this one is expensive. Yeah, so also we have to pick up this advanced crafting table, which isn't too difficult. We did just make the black steel here, which was one of the most difficult parts of this. The basic crafting table also takes black steel. The rest is just pretty much some basic components here, other than luminescence. Luminescence is a mixer recipe. Fortunately, it's LV, and we need phosphoric acid, which is a chemical reactor recipe, sulfuric acid, water, and apatite. Apatite is an ore vein we have not found yet, so I'll have to go and find one of those, and then sulfuric acid. We will have sulfuric acid automated before long, but it's sulfur trioxide and water, and this we can get from sulfur dioxide and oxygen. And this we can make from, sulfur and oxygen. Oxygen is pretty easy. It's just electrolyzing some dust here. I'll figure it out here. I've got some crafting to do. Oh, it feels good to finally fly. Finally, we have creative flight. This is going to make building so much easier. As I said, I want to make this place vertical in both directions, so up and down from this platform. This is going to be essentially the center, and this is going to be our front door right here. We'll have to add some kind of stairs or, I don't know, spruce up the entrance. I haven't really figured it out. I haven't really figured out most of how this is going to be honest. I'm going to be spending quite a few days on this in this video, by the way, so I'll give you an update at the end and talk you through the process once a bit more of it's built. But we are going to want some more building materials for that, some more building blocks, and so we're going to set up some automation over here somewhere. You know what, let's just set up another energy acceptor so we don't have to do it over here, because we're going to use some AE components. I went ahead and made our very first interface, and using that I crafted a storage bus, I crafted an annihilation plane, a formation plane, a conveyor, and we got some cable and a crate here. So we'll just do it over here. What we're going to do is automate concrete. So concrete obviously is made from concrete powder. We're not going to automate this stage yet because it's made in either a mixer or a crafting table. I'm just going to batch craft in the crafting table, to be honest. The sand we're making, or you remember, we are buffering right here, which is one of the reasons I said it's very important to buffer the intermediate steps in your passive processes, because now we have sand, we have gravel, and we also now have the white dye. That Lily of the Valley, oh my goodness. That was no joke. The game was just straight up trolling me, but we now have 172 Lily of the Valley, plus a bit more in the phytogenic insulator. And yeah, we have various dyes here. We're going to use various concrete colors, but this automation should work for any color. So to turn it into between the powder and the concrete, you have to just expose it to some water. So what we're going to do for this is have a annihilation plane. No, a formation plane here. And then we're going to have a small interface. That will be connected to a crate. And the reason I made a crate is so that we can put an LV conveyor on the bottom. And so this, I'm going to toss in the concrete powder. We're going to be using mostly grey dye. So I'm going to go ahead and craft some grey dye here. Or grey concrete rather. So let's make some grey dye. We have tons and tons of dye now. It takes us such a long way. Yeah, let's make some grey concrete powder. So yeah, the way this works is we're going to give concrete powder into the crate. The LV conveyor is going to... I might put this up to an MV conveyor just to make it a bit faster. You'll see the speeds of this stuff eventually, but... yeah, whenever the conveyor sends it into the interface is going to try to drop its contents into any available storage on the network. And for us, any available storage is this formation plane. That's the only place it can go. So the interface is going to always try to drop its items, or basically send its items away whenever they're in this slot. The formation plane is going to place it, and then we're going to have an annihilation plane here. We will have to plug this in, and we're going to have this on a subnet, which means we're going to place a piece of quartz fiber. So we have channels disabled, remember, so channels is not an issue here, but if we did have channels, this would prevent channels, and only power is allowed to be sent through here, so that we can send power to the AE device, the annihilation plane. So the annihilation plane is going to try to break the block, but only if it has a valid storage location. So we're going to grab a barrel, and I think I have another tier upgrade here as well. We can make this aluminium. And I guess we're just going to stick the other barrel here for now. And this one we want a storage bus on. So the storage bus is going to be its valid storage destination. And yeah, you can see here that it's doing its thing. But it's giving us concrete powder. We want concrete. So all we have to do, I believe, is just place some water source blocks next to this, and we can waterlog a leaf since we're in 1.20. And now we also want to make sure the storage bus is filtered. In this version, I believe we can filter on, insert, and extract separately, which is pretty awesome. This never used to be a feature in the older versions of AE. It doesn't really matter, to be honest, but we do want to filter this for just the regular concrete, so grey concrete and not powder. So now when we drop the grey concrete powder in, you can probably hear it's making us grey concrete at a pretty rapid rate. I mean, this is going to be fast enough for us, to be honest. Like, yeah, we can drop in like 10, 20 stacks of grey concrete in here, and it's going to make it in a matter of minutes. And this should also work for any other kind of concrete. Like I said, we just need to make sure we set the filters here. So yeah, for any other color, I guess a fuzzy card could probably also work as well. But yeah, very simple automation to give us some more building blocks. We're not just going to use concrete. Yeah, as you can see here, I did pick smooth stone and also eroded smooth stone, which is from the chipped mod. And of course, as we saw earlier, we do have that smooth stone automation. I think there is so to get this eroded one, you have to use a stone cutter. Yeah, I was just doing it manually in here, like so. And that is very tedious because we're gonna need thousands of this as we expand. So I think there is an upgrade for our backpack. So the upgrade base is just made from string. We can craft string. The stone cutter upgrade. And inside our backpack, we only have one upgrade slot right now. We need to get this upgraded, to be honest. But I think this gives us stone cutter capabilities. Yes, it does. And we don't need to... yeah, we don't need to carry a stone cutter around or place it anywhere. We can use our backpack. And I believe later on in AE2, in this version of AE2, we should be able to do auto crafting with stone cutters. I could be wrong about that, but we do need to be at least HV and get into some chemistry before auto crafting. But we'll get there soon enough. We do need a place for it to go though, so... yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do some building here, as I think it'll be easier to explain once some of this is built. I did go back to the Lost Cities, and I'll probably do it a few more times, just to exchange and gadget some of the terracotta from the buildings. It's so satisfying as well, just exchanging all the blocks and stealing all their terracotta for clay dust. which of course we electrolyze into aluminium, send that through the blast furnace, and keep this going as much as possible. So I'm going to do that and get some building done, and then I'll come back to you with a bit of a progress update. Since, yeah, it'll be easier to explain this once we have a bit more than just a platform. Alright guys, so the next day we have some progress here on the build. I'm not finished yet, I'm going to continue to do some more building this episode, but I wanted to bring you back at this point. This is just your first look at the Moni base. I'm loving it so far, I'm so excited about this project. It's so good. Yeah, obviously not finished just yet, but I wanted to bring you back at this point, like I said, to add some more simulation chambers. You know, we automated this pulsating prediction matrix and we haven't really put it to use, so we might as well be efficient with our time while we spend many more hours placing blocks. I want these simulation chambers running and producing us resources. So I've went ahead and crafted an extra 3 here for now. We are going to run the zombie model since we're getting kind of low on iron, so the pristine zombie matter can loot fabricate into iron. But there is actually a more efficient iron recipe, which is to use this one. So we can also loot fabricate the pristines into rotten flesh and use overworlding matter, which we do also get from the zombie data model. So it's a bit more efficient to do it that way, but either way we will get iron from the zombie model. We're going to continue to run our Enderman model, of course, which is how we keep this system self-sufficient. And that leaves us 2 free spaces. I want to have one for spider, which I think is the copper one. Yeah, this one here. Although on second thought, maybe we'll add a skeleton one because skeleton can give us tin. And we're a little bit low on tin. Let's see what else maybe we can get. Okay, new plan. What we're going to do is make a witch data model, which can give us redstone and glowstone. And we're also going to make a ghast because we are really low on silver. The ghast can give us silver. So we do need a ghast here, which we can craft. Oh, right. We need a spider eye first. Then the ghast here. Then the ghast data model. So this one is 1024 RF a tick, and this one is 512. Wait, why is this one not getting any energy? It should be... Man, Ender IO is just funny in this version. It's just funny, it's... Okay, connect up some item pipe, and we'll make sure we set round robin as well. So screwdriver on the conveyor, round robin. Oh, is this being funny as well? Why is this not... Do I need to break and replace this? Now it works? Yes, now it works. Okay, now we're getting pulsating prediction matrix. Yeah, so either way we have to increase our power generation. I think it's at 1280 RF a tick right now. I've paused the blast furnace, but yeah, we're not going to be able to sustain everything with our current configuration. Oh, and apparently that also includes our AE system, which is now offline. That ain't good. Okay, disconnect this for a second. So I noticed in our quest book here, there is several quests for upgrading our power situation, and we are going to upgrade to numismatic power, but that is going to be placed in our new base, and I don't have the space built for it yet. So in the meantime, I've been experimenting with the reinforced integral components, which is the second upgrade after hardened, and it does take quite a lot of invar here and electrical steel, and I'm honestly not sure what the most efficient method to upgrade these is, because there is also the triple auxiliary reaction chamber, which increases maximum output by 300%, which sounds like a really good deal, but we cannot sustain enough steam, and I have a feeling we don't have enough sugarcane production, but that's easy enough to fix. It would also be mega expensive to do it this way, because this is 6 blocks of conductive iron, sterling silver, energetic alloy, and some transmission coils, which is what I was using the silver for. But then I realized for 12 of these things, it's just not feasible, and yeah, I tested it out, and I think this configuration is going to be better for us, where we have reinforced integral components in the steam turbines, plus 1 multi-cycle injector just to keep the steam usage down. So 2 integral components here, and then in the steam boiler we have 3 multi-cycle injectors to increase fuel efficiency, and 1 reinforced integral component in this one, which also increases the amount of steam that the boiler generates. So it should be evenly balanced. However, I did notice that we're not getting enough steam throughput on this normal steel pipe. So there are obviously large and huge steel fluid pipes which increase the capacity, but I don't want to use this recipe, I want to make it in the extruder. So we are going to go ahead and craft our next MV machine, the extruder, which is one of the most important to craft in medium voltage. And using the extruder in most cases is way more efficient than the alternative recipe here. This is double steel plates, whereas it just costs 12 ingots for a huge steel fluid pipe. So I think it's 24 No, wait. How many sets do we have? 4 sets? Yeah, so it's just 48 steel ingots and the mold, and this should give us our huge steel fluid pipes. Also, to make these upgrades, it does take a fair amount of gears, Invar and Electrum gears. And I was just doing it in the fluid solidifier, which is 4 ingots worth, but we can do this now in the extruder. The fluid solidifier is a double stage process, obviously, since you have to melt the fluid first and then solidify it. Here comes the thunder, and I'm kind of losing my patience with some of these LV machines. They are getting a little bit slow. Alright, so we have everything upgraded at this point, and we're generating 400 RF a tick from each dynamo, which takes us up to 3,200. Which, to be honest, is still not enough to sustain these simulation chambers here, so I might disconnect one temporarily. I'll probably end up swapping out the data models over the many hours I'm spending on this thing. And we can generate at least some passive resources and put our PPC to use. Wait, no. Pulsating prediction matrix? Yeah, that's the right one. That's the right word. So I also made a storage controller, which is equivalent to a drawer controller. And in functional storage, you have to use the linking tool. And then you click on the drawer controller, and then click on each drawer, and that should link it to the controller. It does not have to, as far as I'm aware, be connected physically, as long as they're linked and they're within range. So this gives you like a preview. Might as well get all the drawers here. So we just have some conduits going from the simulation chambers to buffer the items in drawers. Oh yeah, and we want to lock the drawers here as well. Alright, well that should be good enough for now. I'm going to continue on building here, and the next thing I'm going to build is a control room. I want somewhere for the terminals, and I'm thinking either in the center here or on the back wall. Bearing in mind that we might expand further this way, in fact we almost certainly will, but not for some time. I still might put the control room here somewhere though, I'm not entirely decided yet. But yeah, let me see if I can try to get my creative juices flowing, and see what we can come up with here for this base. You know what? To find out what creative juices were flowing, if there was any, and what progress has been made so far on this build, check out the next episode. Yes, we're really going to do this. I want to keep these episodes a bit shorter than what I've been doing, and I'm not doing a good job so far. You guys have probably left so many comments about that, but I'm going to make an effort at this time, and yeah, we're going to stick under 30 minutes, so thank you so much for watching. I'm having a blast with this series. You might notice that, well, maybe you won't notice, to be honest, but I have been having a little bit of trouble recording, and oh wait, a chest. Yeah, I've had absolutely perfect timing on my tooth. One of my wisdom teeth is giving me issue, but I will get my revenge as it's getting drilled out in a few weeks' time, so there might be a small delay in a couple of weeks where there's no videos, but yeah, I guess it gives me more time to work on the base, which you're going to find out next episode. So it's so awesome to be back on YouTube, and man, I've missed this so much. I'm having a blast. Like I said, it's taken me a while to get back into the swing of making videos, and I'm still trying to relearn the craft, so to speak. Oh, there's some glowstone there. We didn't actually have to go to the nether. Anyways, I'm rambling. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next episode.